Hey everyone, so I wanted to tell you about this past life memory that I had that I thought was so interesting and so weird. And it's Saturday, May 20th. So I will probably post this later today. I already recorded all the videos that I cropped, and well, I'm gonna crop it. I haven't done it yet, but I told, if you watched that last video that I'm probably gonna post today too, I was like, oh, I'm tired, yada yada. But I'm just like, I haven't gotten up yet, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, I should share this because this is something that I feel is like super important right now. I don't know. So I had this vision where I was going back into a past life, and they wouldn't let me go like beyond where I was at. And when I say they, it felt like guys, it felt like guardian angels, it felt like these beings that are like responsible for like showing me things. Like they're the ones that are responsible in some way. It kind of feels like record keepers, you know, and so it's like they are there, and then they kind of give permission at the time that it's possible. It'd be like if you went to the library and you wanted to check out certain books, and then they were like, okay, well, right now, currently, we recommend that you like check these out. And you're like, okay, so I'll go there. Like that kind of thing. I'm explaining that wrong, but I'm just trying to give you like an idea, right? And so they wouldn't let me go past where I was at. And they're like, you need to stop here and look. And so where I was at, I felt like an amoeba. Like I was just like floating around, and I couldn't go anywhere, and I felt very much like an organism, like a single cell organism just floating there. And it felt like kind of bluish gray, and I could feel like I wasn't in control in this, and I wasn't scared or anything. I was fine. I was just existing or whatever. But like that's the best way I can describe it. It's like a single cell organism just existing. And what was interesting about it though is I had a consciousness. And I mean that in the terms of like I had thought. I had conscious thought. You know, it's not like higher level, it's not like spiritual, whatever. It's like how we think. You know, like I could literally think. I had thoughts. And I couldn't move, you know, because I'm just an organism, but I could think. And what I was thinking is just like acceptance. Like, this is who I am. This is what I am. And there's nothing I can really do about it. It's not like I felt helpless. It was just, this is it. This is where I'm at. It's not even life. Like it was like, it's not like this is my life. Like it's like it felt vast, like vastness. And I was in this gray, like liquidy blue vast existence, and I could feel others around me, but they were like further away from me, and they were also single cell organisms. They're all single. And so they brought me, my guides, they brought me to, or like these gatekeepers, they brought the librarians, they brought me to this next event where things sped up. It was like all of a sudden this collision, and it didn't feel rough, it didn't feel intense or anything. It was just like that, like awake, like whoa. and it turned like yellow, and I felt light, like light, like not of the light necessarily. I mean, it's not like I didn't feel like I was of the light, but it was like everything turned bright, and it was like yellows and like orange, not really orange, like more just like golden yellow white, and it was speeding up, speeding up, speeding up. And I felt fast. Like I felt like my energy was getting really fast, and I could feel the other ones further away from me, but then there was something with me, like in me, connected like that. And then I felt like I was evolving. It felt like, you know how like we talk about like Earth, like the beginning of time, and it's like the Big Bang, and how it's like we were single cell organisms just kind of here, and then there was some collision, and then, you know, we were amphibians, and then we were reptiles, and then we were this and that kind of thing. It was like that. I was going through evolution, and then they showed me my death. They took me from there and they showed me my death. And you know what my death was? Being born. Isn't that crazy? Like my death was becoming me. And so from that, I've determined that I believe we have a consciousness even as an early embryo. Like not just a spiritual consciousness. I'm talking like thought, conscious thought, human thought, analytical thought. Even if it's kind of elementary or rudimentary, like we have thought. So I don't know what that really means as far as I mean, that shifts things for me as far as my belief goes, you know, with Roe versus Wade. You know, I'm still, this doesn't change. I'm still an advocate. I still believe in women's right to choose. I believe in that. Because that's a really slippery slope to start in the name of the unborn to take away the living's rights. It makes us into machines, in my opinion. But I don't agree that we should be performing those things. I think we should choose not to. And that, in a lot of ways, solidifies that. Because then it is really, when you do those, when you have an abortion, you're taking away the right of this person to live. You're taking away their free will. You're cutting that off from them. So, because they're conscious. Now, how that affects, you know, you have stillborns, you have miscarriages, you know, I don't know, maybe that's different. Maybe that's some sort of temporary journey for the ones that don't make it to birth. I don't know, because I haven't thought about it, and I didn't experience that in this vision I had, but that would be my guess. I think that it just depends, and it's kind of not important necessarily to try and know that unless you feel that you should, or if it's supposed to be known to you. I think in those situations it's more of like, how can you learn to properly grow or grieve and learn and move forward in your life from things like that. It's not necessarily not hanging on, because you can honor someone that you've felt a connection to, that's no longer here, like a baby. Like you can still honor that, but I don't know if that's something, I think it depends on the person, if that's something that you need to know in this life, and like why. Like it could be some sort of soul agreement with someone to have that unfortunately happen for something for you, like maybe to strengthen your connection with someone, or to strengthen your belief in something, or to eventually have one. Like there's so many different reasons why, or to just like change the trajectory of your life in some way, in a more solid, like it's a solid thing, like a positive, it would be something positive. I know it's kind of hard to say with that kind of stuff, but like there are ways that you could really be of service in this life through those experiences, right? And then for those that have performed those kinds of things, like abortions and everything, I don't know, I think that depends again on the person. Maybe to learn to accept things that you may have done that you may change your mind about, or to I don't know. I think in those situations it's better to just kind of learn to forgive yourself, and find a way forward from it. You just have to forgive yourself. So that was my vision. I've never seen, and I guess like it's something else I wanted to say about that is because like the way that I've thought, I don't give a lot of thought to it. I just whatever comes to me, right? But you know how I see our spirits, like we're not our body. There's like this cord. The way that it's represented to me is like a cord, but your spirit is like connected, right? It's like just kind of like an umbilical cord kind of thing. And so when I see babies, it's like the soul existing outside of the baby. Like they're not fully formed, they're not fully connected yet to that baby, to that human. And so it's like this process of like being there. And I think again, so it depends on the person, it depends on the spirit, it depends on the story. So even babies who are here and then they pass away, it's like maybe they were always of spirit, they weren't necessarily connected to the body yet. And then stillborns and miscarriages, they could be of spirit more than they are of the consciousness. Do you see what I'm saying? And so There are some that are conscious. They're not just of spirit. They're not that. It's like when you feel like people who've had a baby and it's like, I saw you before you were born, or I saw you before you were even conceived. And people who've been like, I saw you when I was in heaven, or what, you know, I'm using a baby voice. It's like, I saw you and I chose you as my parents. That kind of thing. It's like, that's still that higher level consciousness. That's not the thinking. That's not them thinking, right? But then there's like that dual, right? Like, how do I explain? Like, it's just like a person, like us right now. Like, I could have my own individual thoughts, and I could have all of this other stuff, and I could also be like a spiritual, like getting up into these little spiritual realms and stuff. But I have my own thoughts, my consciousness, my thoughts. And so some of these, like, even as an, like, because I think I saw myself as an egg. It's like I already chose where I was going to be. So that egg, I brought my consciousness into the egg. And then conception occurred. And I was conscious then too. And then growth, I was aware, and then birth. And I think, just talking it out, I think on some level, we're all the ones who are here, who've made it this, you know, into, you know, toddler years, whatever, you know, however old. Yeah, we were all conscious on some level, whether there was like a disconnect or not. You know, sometimes you're kind of disassociated. Like, there could be a disassociation. It's like your soul's there, existing more of a soul, but as the human form, you're conscious. You just haven't made that connection because the souls are still coming into their own agreement of who's going in. But there's like who you identify as a human being. There's a separate, I don't know, it's like separate kind of at the beginning for those that are separate, but it's also connected. It's really strange the way I'm seeing it, because it's kind of like tentacles, like it's like, let's say there's like 3 energies that are determining if they're going to go into that. It kind of just like, it's like doing like that and like connecting to all 3. So on that consciousness, it's like an enmeshing of all of those before the final is chosen, which would be you. It's like you finally choosing that body. And so then it dissolves those others from memory, from thought, and it connects and sticks with you of an embryonic or a single cell, an egg or a sperm. An egg. I think it starts with the egg. Consciousness, I believe, would start with the egg. Okay, that's what I saw. Bye.